All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this Athenian Stranger tutorial video, where today we are going to be looking at a single variable equation that involves fractions. So when we look at this problem, the very first thing we need to focus on is the denominator situation. And right now we have two different denominators. That's a problem because this equation involves addition, okay? If it involved division or multiplication, the denominators wouldn't immediately present such an issue, but because it involves addition, we cannot combine these two fractions until we have common denominators. So we have to find common denominators. And how are we going to do that? Well, here's how we do it. So I want to show you exactly how to do it, and we don't need any calculators to accomplish this goal. First, we'll take 72. I want to show you a trick. So all through these videos, I've been prime factoring numbers, and this is why. I'm first going to take the smallest prime factor that 72 can be divided into, and that prime factor is 2. We know that because 72 is even. So now we just say 72 divided by 2 is 36. Okay? So we take 36 now and we prime factor it further. Again, it's even, so the smallest prime factor will be 2. And 2 times 18 equals 36. Now 18 is not prime, so we break that down further. And we find that 2 times 9 is 18. But 9 is not prime, so we break that down further. And we find that 3 times 3 is 9, both of which are prime numbers. So now we have all prime factors. Okay? So here's what you do with that. The very first, what we're going to do is create a list of all the factors of 72. So one of those factors is 72 and 1. So 72 times 1 is 72. And here comes the next pair of factors. 2 times 36 is 72. So we'll put 2 and 36. And then here's how you do this. You say 2 times 2 is 4. So we're going down the tree. 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 times 18 is also 72. You might have to do this a couple of times before you really believe me, but this is actually how this works. Now we do it again. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 8 times 9 is also 72. And now we do it again. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 is 24. 24 times 3 is also 72. Okay? So we have now found all of the different things that can be multiplied together to get 72. And this works for every number that is not prime. You can come up with this list of factors. So just to make this clear, all of these multiply together to give 72. So which one do we need for our problem? Well, we need one that has something to do with 18, right? Because that's the number we have to make equal to 72. So that's this pair right here. 4 times 18 is 72. And we're actually paying specific attention to the 4, okay? Because that means that we can multiply 35 over 18 times 4 over 4, and that will make the denominator, 18, turn into 72 because 4 times 18 equals 72. So now I just need to show that. Multiplication, multiplication, times 4 and times 4. Remember, what we're really doing is multiplying by 1 because 4 over 4 is 1. So our next step is to rewrite 113 over 72 and set that equal to 35 times 4 over 18 times 4 plus r. So we know what the denominator is. The denominator is 72. Okay, we've got that here. 4 times 18 is 72. So we just have to multiply 35 times 4, which can be done using a little bit of multiplication. 35 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. So 35 times 4 is 140. And that goes right here in the numerator, 140 plus r. Now what? Well, now we have common denominators, so we can proceed. We have to get r by itself. R is on the right side of the equation, so we have to get r by itself, and that means we've got to get rid of this 140 over 72. We can't just destroy it and throw it away. We have to move it to the other side of the equation. And we're going to move it by subtracting. Right now, 140 over 72 is a positive number. There's no minus sign over here. So we have to subtract 140 over 72 from both sides. Okay, so I'm going to do that right here and right here. Now, let's see what's happening on the right side. I have something minus itself. 140 over 72 minus 140 over 72 is 0. Okay? So these go away. This is 0. And this notation here just means that it's gone. Okay? It's been moved. So now, on the left side of the equation, we have the following fraction. We have both of these, 113 over 72 minus 140 over 72, have a common denominator, so I know that when I subtract, my result will have a denominator of 72. So what I need to do in the numerator is multiply or subtract 140 from 113, like this. Okay? So I set that equal to r. And now I just perform this subtraction. Well, without a calculator, this is a little bit difficult. We can't subtract a bigger number from a smaller number, but we can do this. We can take 140 and we can subtract 113 from it, and then whatever answer we get, we'll just put a negative sign in front of it, okay? So I can't subtract 3 from 0, so I'll borrow from the tens column. The 4 becomes a 3, and the 0 becomes a 10. Now 10 minus 3 is 7, 3 minus 1 is 2, and 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, so you have negative 27. We will rewrite now negative 27 over 72 equals r. So we're not done yet because we have to reduce this fraction. We have to think of what is the largest number that I can divide out of both of these numbers. And if you don't know, you can do it like this. So without a calculator, you can do it like this. You can take 27 and you can take 72 and break them down, okay? Well, we've already broken down 72, so we can save ourselves the trouble. And we'll break down 27 now, okay? So 27 is an odd number, so the first and smallest prime factor is not 2. Let's see if it's 3. Remember, the trick for 3 is 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 is divisible by 3, therefore 27 is divisible by 3. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Okay? Well, 9 is not prime, so we break that down, and we get 3 times 3. So let's list all of the different factors of 27. We have 27 times 1. Okay, and then we take the 3, and we multiply it times 9. And then we take 3 times 3, and that's 9, and we multiply it by 3. Well, these two things are the same thing, right? 3 times 9 is equal to 9 times 3. All of these factor pairs multiply together to give you 27. So let's compare these to 72. And what I'm looking for is the largest number that is in both sets. Let's go hunting. Okay, 27 is not in this set. Okay, let's check 9. Oh, there's 9. Okay, so I can divide a 9 out of both 27 and 72. That's why prime factoring is so important. So what we'll do is we will divide a 9 out of the numerator and the denominator in order to reduce the fraction. Okay? So we're going to divide a 9 out on top and a 9 out on the bottom. Well, we already know what negative 27 divided by 9 is. That would be negative 3 over, okay, what is 72 divided by 9? Okay, what is 72 divided by 9? 72 divided by 9 is 8. We already know it. You can just go to your factor tables and you can see what the other thing is. So we know that if we divide 9 out of 72, the other thing left is 8. And so we write negative 3 over 8 equals R. And again, without a calculator, without any worry whatsoever, we have been able to simplify the fraction, and we now have our solution. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so now that we have found this answer, we should check our answer. So let's go back to the original problem. We're going to replace R with negative 3 over 8, okay? But we can help ourselves along. We know we're going to have to find a common denominator again, and we can help ourselves along by using this second stage of the equation. So let me go to that second stage of the equation and write it again. But when I get to the R part, I'm going to replace R with negative 3 over 8. So here's the conjecture. Does 113 over 72 equal 140 over 72 plus negative 3 over 8? And we want to ask that question. Does it equal? Well, in order to actually find out, we have to find a common denominator between 8 and 72. Well, the lowest common denominator between the two is 72. And again, we can refer back to our tables. I know I just need to multiply 8 times 9 in order to get 72. So I'll multiply negative 3/8, both the top and the bottom, by 9 over 9. Okay? Again, I'm just multiplying by 1 because 9 over 9 can be reduced to 1. So now I just have to complete the multiplication. So now we'll continue the check by saying 113 over 72 equals question mark. We don't know, equals 140 over 72. And now we have to do this plus negative 3 times 9, that's negative 27, over 72. That's what we have to check. Now, all the denominators are 72, so we can check. We have to just say, what is 140 plus negative 27? And it should equal 113. Well, you don't really do this. You don't add a negative number. You just subtract, right? So the effective computation is a subtraction. 140 minus 27 should render 113. So we'll borrow from the 4, we'll make that a 3, and we'll make the 0 a 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. And 1 minus 0 is 1. Okay, so we did find that this simplifies down to, let me show it here, 113 over 72 does in fact equal 113 over 72. Okay, so we can do our check, check, and our check, check up here. And that is how you do the first problem. Okay, so I hope this problem solution was helpful for you. And I hope people are taking note of the neatness, all right? Things are kind of laid out in an orderly fashion. And it's possible that mine is less orderly than it could be, but it is very clear to me, especially if I write check here. Okay, it is very clear to me as a teacher and anyone else who's looking at this what you did. Okay, so that's why I use the protractor to make sure that it's very clear what I did. And I could go back at this to this piece of paper in 10 years and I could see what it is I did. Right? If you want to make the problem even more like readable, you could say given right here. Here's what we're given. Okay? You kind of label the sections. Down here, you could say solution. So my people who are super organized, you could even label things more than you already do. And you could label this side work, just so the teacher knows and you know exactly what your different sections are. Okay? So that is the solution. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you have a question, please leave that in the comments section, and please make sure to like and subscribe and then hit that notification bell so you are always alerted to new videos on this channel. Thank you.